Good morning, and thanks for tuning in to Terrier TV. Today is Thursday, May 2nd. I'm Danielle Francavilla.
And I'm Kristen Roberts.
Let's get into this week's top stories. 2 people were killed at UNC Charlotte following a shooting on Tuesday. Around 5:42 p.m. local time, 22-year-old Tristan Andrew Terrell fired shots into the school's Kennedy building. The speed of the local law enforcement is determined to have prevented other casualties. In addition to the 2 casualties, 4 more people were injured, 3 of them being life-threatening injuries. Terrell is now in police custody, officially being charged with 2 counts of murder and 4 counts of attempted murder, among other charges. According to the Associated Press, the shooting occurred on the last day of classes. Both the identities of the victim and the motive for the shooting are not known at this time.
1 person was killed and 3 were injured after a gunman opened fire in a California synagogue this past Tuesday. According to the police, the 19-year-old suspect began shooting an AR-15 style rifle during a sermon. The lone casualty of this shooting is a 60-year-old Lori Gilbert Kay. Kay allegedly jumped in front of the rabbi to protect him from fire. The shooter's rifle reportedly jammed during the shooting, preventing more casualties. After reporting the shooting to the police, the suspect was arrested without incident 2 miles from the synagogue. This attack occurred 6 months following the Pittsburgh synagogue shooting that left 11 dead.
The ongoing Venezuelan uprising continues to intensify. 35-year-old politician Juan Guaido declared himself the interim president of Venezuela, challenging the upcoming second term of Nicolas Maduro. After tens of thousands of people began rallying around Guaido, Maduro severed maintaining diplomatic relations with the United States. This past Tuesday, Guaido brought up the possibility of militaristic action in the near future. In support of Guaido, President Donald Trump stated that he is, quote, monitoring the situation in Venezuela very closely, and that the United States stands with the people of Venezuela and their freedom. Also in support of Guaido are 50 other countries, including much of Latin America and Europe.
Last week, the Florida State Senate approved a proposal that would arm teachers with guns across the state. The legislation permits local school boards to make the decision on arming teachers. So far, just 25 of the 67 school districts in Florida have been approved to participate in the new program. Under the bill, administrators, support staff, and coaches are eligible to being armed in schools. Those who opt to being armed must pass an interview, background check, drug screening, psychological evaluation, and discuss with their respective principal. Armed school safety officers, named the Guardians, already undergo 144 hours of training.
51-year-old American film director and producer John Singleton passed away on Monday. Singleton is most famous for directing the 1995 film Boys in the Hood. At 24, Singleton was the first African American to be nominated for Best Director, Oscar, and remains the youngest person to have been nominated. Singleton also directed Shaft in 2000 and Too Fast, Too Furious in 2003. Singleton suffered a stroke and was in a coma. His family decided to take him off life support on Monday.
Democratic leaders Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer recently revealed that President Donald Trump has agreed to a $2 trillion infrastructure plan. That would include funds to repair roads and bridges, in addition to water projects and a big emphasis on the power grid. Following a 90-minute meeting on Tuesday, Pelosi said that the Democratic leaders were very excited about the conversation that they had, and Schumer added that it was very constructive. The leaders say that they will await President Trump's ideas on how to pay for the plan in the next 3 weeks.
John William King, the white supremacist who contributed to the 1998 murder of James Byrd Jr., received a lethal injection in Texas on Wednesday. King was the ringleader of a trio that chained Byrd to the back of a 1992 Ford pickup and dragged him to his death for nearly 3 miles. King maintained his innocence, claiming that Byrd's death wasn't a hate-fueled crime, but instead a drug deal gone wrong. King is the second man to be put to death in this case following the execution of Lawrence Bender in 2011. The other convicted felon, Sean Berry, is currently serving a life term in prison.
Former Full House star Lori Locklear and her husband have pleaded not guilty in the nationwide college entrance exam cheating scandal. Locklear and her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, were arrested in connection with the conspiracy to commit mail fraud to the University of Southern California. In an investigation now known as the Operation Varsity Blues, Locklear and her husband were accused of paying $500,000 to USC to imply that their 2 daughters would join the school's rowing team if admitted to the school. In fact, neither student had ever trained in the sport and had no plans to do so. The couple, by not accepting the plea, could be facing up to 40 years in prison. Among those also indicted in the case are actress Felicity Huffman and Canadian football player David Sadu.
In lighter news, Sigourney Weaver became a viral sensation when she surprised a North Bergen high school. Weaver, who starred in the Alien movie franchise, met with students out of North Bergen High School following their play version of the film. The students decided to have an encore presentation of the play in conjunction with the film's 40th anniversary this past Friday. The original production of the play went viral for its elaborate production and design. Following the news that the play only had enough money for a two-night showing, Alien film director Ridley Scott donated $5,000 to the school earlier last week.
Finally, the new superhero movie Avengers and Game has smashed box office records in its opening weekend. The 3-hour finale to the Avengers series broke box office records for the biggest Thursday night preview, biggest opening Friday, and the biggest 5-day total. All records previously held by the 2015 film Star Wars: The Force Awakens. The film has totaled in $1.5 billion in its opening week. The film features an ensemble cast including Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Scarlett Johansson, Mark Ruffalo, Jeremy Renner, and Brie Larson.
That's it for today. Thanks for tuning in to Terrier TV.
I would like to congratulate Danielle on being a member of the class of 2019. This is her last time anchoring with Terrier TV News. In addition, we'd like to congratulate the crew members, Allison, Justin, Thomas, Kevin, Shayla, Joe, Joelle, and the rest of the graduating class of 2019 at St. Francis College.
Don't forget to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at SFC Terrier TV and check out our brand new website at sfcterriertv.com. For the last time with Terrier TV, I'm Danielle Francavilla.
And for the final time this semester, I'm Kristen Roberts. See you again next semester.
Thank you.